I hate Cyrax. And, well, what a way to start, and I'm just going to get to the point about this. Is the reason why I hate people like Cyrax is because, well, among many other things, the violence towards women is, in any case, it would be extremely concerning anyway. But I think, even from what I also know about Cyrax himself, I think it also uncovers something even more sinister, and I'll explain why in a moment. Now, for those who need sort of like a very brief introduction, Cyrax is this lolcow who struggled as an independent musician, suffered with like a stunt growth, which meant he never got beyond 5'3". I don't quite know what the very specific term for it is, but as a result, he's had very delusions of grandeur, and he is known as something of a predator as well. And if that wasn't somehow enough, there's, the way he treats some women in his life, like Heather. I'll just read up sort of what I've found already, because this is sort of like going to... This is just a shocking thing to uncover anyway. Just before his violent actions towards Heather became public, Cyrax had posted on Facebook about condemning men who harm women. Well, I reckon the only I'll get back to that in a second. However, during a live stream, he was caught attempting to violently take Heather's phone. On the same day, a troll contacted the police, who conducted a welfare check. I don't necessarily know why you would call him a troll. I would say, actually, he absolutely should have done the right thing in this sort of instance, and I'll explain why as well. Who conducted a welfare check, and the police report revealed that Heather acknowledged Cyrax's abuse during the live stream. As the situation became more complicated, it was revealed that Heather had left her wife with their children to live with DJ Shadowblade, and Cyrax's online behaviour grew more aggressive and violent towards his perceived enemies. He lost a bet with a troll, which led him to financial loss and increased his online hostility. Cyrax's dick picture was leaked, but he claimed to have been hacked. And later, he and Heather attacked a journalist who was covering their story. Cyrax also has made threats towards a female journalist, and the couple set up a GoFundMe campaign to take back Heather's kids from her ex-wife. But it was later revealed that they had no intention of actually getting the kids and just pocketed the money. Cyrax that makes my piss boil when you hear yourself saying stuff like that. It's the sort of thing that makes my piss boil, because I know that apparently Cyrax had some sort of issues with bullying when he was younger, but you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this right now. No excuse. It's never been an excuse. You know what? I'm not going to say I had the best time growing up either. In fact, to be honest, I had a fantastic time growing up, and but guess what? Even then, I knew fine well what the difference was in, between good and bad, and I can't imagine Cyrax in any... The only reason he and even went through with any of this, that it was literally just because he thought he could get away with it, which I will get back to very shortly. Cyrax even threatened to physically beat up a troll and attempted to take down a rival's music and merchandise store by falsely claiming copyright ownership. This is coming from a guy who also is notorious for stealing other people's material. Interesting. Meanwhile, Cyrax makes false accusations against his ex-partner Jessica using a fake YouTube account to defend himself against online trolls. He alleges that Jessica had charged him with civil assault, but the reason remains uncertain. After failing to defeat the trolls in a rap battle, Cyrax takes a temporary break from social media, focusing on his artwork. However, his stay away lasts only a month as he returns with accusations of Jessica being a kidnapper, with more break periods due to possible punitive measures from his family. Cyrax reappears in May to declare his departure from YouTube due to cyberbullying. Despite his intentions, he soon comes back, announcing his new identity as Scarface and launching a new label. Amidst numerous relationships, conflicts, and manipulative tactics, Cyrax is exposed to have physically assaulted Heather's brother during a move and goes quiet for a while before returning to live streaming. Suspicious of embezzling funds from a GoFundMe campaign add to the complexity of Cyrax's tumultuous online presence. And by the way, this whole violent tendency as well. It doesn't just extend to and I've seen live streams and stuff like that where Cyrax looks as if he can actually fight. However, and I'm just going to say this for the record right now, and this is why I absolutely hate people like Cyrax, is that he doesn't like train to fight because he just had an interest, because he wanted to ever defend himself. I'm now utterly convinced the only reason he did it is so that he could actually attack people in person. And interesting enough, before we even got into the subject of wanting to attack his own somebody's brother, he was almost entirely concerned with attacking women. And then, what was it as well about things I heard about Cyrax messaging minors or something like that? Because I heard, and I'll keep reading, the narrative focuses on Cyrax's escalating towards his online efforts. After reaching close to 1,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, Cyrax initiates a campaign for mass unsubscription in response. If that wasn't enough, he also manipulates the situation by falsely reporting cyberbullying to the police. During a live stream, Cyrax makes his threatening statements towards Marty and another troll, even going as far as mentioning their addresses and threatening violence. So he just decides to dox people because he thinks that, checkmate, they can't get away from that now. Cyrax's troubling actions did not stop there. In February, he was hospitalized due to fungal infection of his private parts caused by escalating threats and displays of violence. Caused by his unhygienic practices. Despite his medical condition, he continued to berate those spreading news about his condition online. Cyrax's behaviour becomes increasingly erratic with escalating threats and displays of violence. At one point, Cyrax threatens his girlfriend, Sally. During a welfare check, simultaneously, Cyrax sends graphic images to various catfishes, including one pretended to be mentally challenged transgender person named Cindy Lou. To get back at his trolls, he threatens to harm himself with a stylus and even attempts this act on livestream several times. It is essential to note that the descriptions of Cyrax's actions are disturbing and nonsensical, emphasizing the need for concern and potentially intervention. And then we get into this. Attempting to solicit indecent images from individuals he believed to be 14-year-olds. Despite his belief, Cyrax asked for such pictures repeatedly. After being discovered, he went as far as to flash a camera on YouTube in an attempt to get the platform to shut down the account. This wasn't Cyrax's first offence, as it was found that he had done the same thing in 2014. Additionally, Cyrax defended Chuck Stiegel from accusations, continually scratched his head due to bed bugs, and frequently went back and forth with Sally over his obsession with the internet. Despite numerous attempts to stay away from it, Cyrax was eventually drawn back by Marty, who pretended that Cyrax had passed away and was replaced by an AI. At one point, a fake girlfriend named Goffy told Cyrax that he was losing money because of Marty and that the PBS would be doing a documentary on him. But the police ultimately raided his house for unrelated reasons, and it was not as dramatic as the event as Cyrax portrayed. So, yes, messaging minors. Really, Cyrax is just about really plumb the depths on how to be the absolute biggest scumbag the internet could produce. I know there's probably a lot worse people. I mean, guys like Mr. Spiral is probably certainly... Is it Mr. Spiral or Mr. Swirl? I think it's Mr. Swirl, but what I'm trying to get at, ladies and gentlemen, is the same reason why Cyrax fights, and the same reason you can see him training fighting, the same reason why he's abusive to so many women. Because he's a bully. He bullies people with violence. He threatens people with violence. He can display savage acts of violence because he knows he can actually intimidate people, specifically women, to do exactly what he says. That's the only reason this guy bothers to fight or learn to fight in the first place. Because he can use it to intimidate people. Because he can use it to actually lord power over people. People who, at one point, like Cyrax himself, were too weak to defend themselves. But... And that's just... When you think about it like in that light, it's... What can I say? I'm uniformly disgusted by this. Because I know that Cyrax is only 5'3", and to be honest, again, I can't fight myself, but I will absolutely put up my guard if I saw Cyrax coming towards me from down the street. He's not particularly the hardest person in the world to see from 20 yards away, if that makes sense. But I just gotta straight up ask him, what an absolute piece of work Cyrax is. And this isn't even like, it's not the tip of the iceberg, it's quite down there, but that's the thing I'm coming to with this person, is that he will only pick on people that he believes he can actually fight. He won't pick on someone his own size. He won't pick on people who are much bigger than him, and he tries to intimidate people. That's what bullies do. They intimidate people. And I say intimidate, well, he only does this really towards women and outside of Heather's brother, but it's the sort of thing that actually, to be honest, I feel even pissed about it. In fact, to be honest, I'm even in two minds about whether I should even make this video at all, because the only reason he even bothered making a video about, defending women from men is because it's a red herring. It's designed to throw people off the scent, because it's trying to make Cyrax look sympathetic and understandable. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this. You don't have to make a YouTube video explaining that you defend women to defend women. You could defend women and you could uphold their honour by, not threatening to beat the shit out of them, not threatening to beat them up, take their phones away from them, beating up their siblings, and all the rest of it. You know what? I'm more than glad for the fact that even after 26 years, I'm still single. Because, to be honest, if it meant being stuck with somebody like Cyrax, absolutely, I would have it cut off, then stay with somebody like Cyrax. And also, the description of his physical prowess is non-desirable either. So, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. I wish there was, for my first video talking about Cyrax, I am going to just stay for the record right now. Well, that's where we're starting, and I hate it. I hated every second of having to talk about him. I hated every single second of having to give this fucking creep attention. And I hate the fact that he's probably going to continue with more of this, including what apparently he was up to recently, is that Cyrax's unstable behaviour with the internet personality Marty. Cyrax leaves YouTube and creates a fake death hoax. And then, of course, there was the thing about lying about, trying to get custody of somebody's kids from literally just pocketing the money. Up yours, Cyrax. His Facebook account gets hacked, and he accuses rapper Danny Brown of being the P word as well. After threatening violence towards him, Cyrax challenges Marty to a fight, which takes place following his defeat, because, of course, that's the thing as well. Cyrax, he claims he can throw these hands, but no. He, like I said, try and pick on somebody who will fight back, and look what happens. He streams boasting about having shown up to the fight. Their rivalry escalates with Cyrax using auto race during a race competition, but he disappears before a final match can be arranged. Throughout 2023, Cyrax faces eviction and assaults a visitor with a bat, getting arrested but soon released on bond. Despite the mounting issues in his life, he continues to beg for attention and remains invested in his online battles with little concern for winning or losing. I think he will feel very, very concerned if one day he tries to pick a fight with somebody and he gets run over and he ends up having a leg amputated. Or possibly both. He'll be a lot shorter if he had both legs amputated by then. And I think issues with size is the last of Cyrax's concerns by then. So, there you have it. I'll probably cover maybe more things in detail about Cyrax next time, but good lord. I'm even wondering to myself if it's even worth the trouble, knowing what I know about this thing. And with that being said, thank you for listening.